Welcome to Knife Safety in Cub Scouting. Knives are a common tool, and like any tool, if used inappropriately, it can be dangerous. The knife safety adventures in Cub Scouting begin in 3rd grade with the Bear elective adventure, Whittling, which focuses on pocket knife safety. In the 4th grade Weebo's elective adventure, Chef's Knife, the focus is on kitchen knife safety. And for 5th grade Arrow of Light, the elective adventure, Knife Safety, is a combination of pocket knife and kitchen knife safety. Only Cub Scouts who complete these adventures may use a knife in Cub Scouting. The Cub Scout must earn the Knife Safety adventure for their rank to use a knife for that year. If the Cub Scout has earned a Knife Safety adventure in an earlier rank, they must recertify by earning the Knife Safety adventure for their rank. Until then, they may not use a knife in Cub Scouting. In this video, we will use the BSA SAFE checklist as a method to deliver the Knife Safety adventures. The SAFE checklist is an acronym for S is for supervision, A is for assessment, F is for fitness and skill, and E is for equipment and environment. Starting with S for supervision. Watching this video is accomplishing an important part of supervision, and that is making sure that you are properly prepared to deliver the Knife Safety adventure. You should secure additional adult supervision based on the size of your den. If possible, a 1-to-1 ratio of adult supervision to Cub Scouts is ideal. We do not recommend a ratio higher than 1 adult supervision to 6 Cub Scouts. This means that a den of 12 Cub Scouts could do the Knife Safety adventure with 2 registered adult leaders conducting the meeting, but getting additional adult supervision provides an additional layer of safety. We also recommend reaching out to a local Scouts BSA troop to see if any adults in the troop are experienced with knife safety and are willing to assist. A is for assessment. Knowing the rules to follow is a key part of assessment. The Cub Scout knife safety rules are 4 key things a Cub Scout is to remember when using a knife. Stop. Make sure no one else is within arm's reach by making a knife safety circle. Away. Always cut away from your fingers or other body parts. Sharp. A sharp, clean knife is a safe knife. Store. Knives closed in a sheath or a knife block. The Knife Safety adventures are only for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades. Younger Cub Scouts may not participate in these activities or use a knife in Cub Scouting. A risk involved with the Knife Safety adventures is a Cub Scout cutting themselves. This can happen even when all safety measures are in place. Make sure that there is an adult leader with first aid knowledge and skills, as well as a first aid kit with an appropriate amount of first aid cream and bandages. The use of axes or hatchets are not allowed in Cub Scouts. F is for fitness and skill. Knowing the Cub Scouts you are delivering the Knife Safety adventure to is important to identify any concerns about physical ability and the maturity required to keep the adventure safe. Cub Scouts in 3rd through 5th grade have significant developmental differences, both physical and mental. Even within the same grade level, chances are you have Cub Scouts that have significant differences in development. Assess each Cub Scout and consider these factors and identify ways to address any concerns. One such way is to have parental supervision and/or additional adult supervision for those Cub Scouts who may need additional support. Consider what the consequences for Cub Scouts who misbehave or who purposely do not follow directions will be. Now, the Cub Scout motto is do your best, but when it comes to the safety of Cub Scouts, make sure that Cub Scouts who earn this adventure complete the requirements with the understanding that using a knife is a privilege. Cub Scouts are to display the maturity to handle the responsibility that comes with using a knife. This is for the safety of all Cub Scouts and adult leaders. If a Cub Scout does not follow the knife safety rules or displays inappropriate behavior with a knife, you may revoke the privilege of that Cub Scout to use a knife for the duration of the activity or longer, based on the severity of the action. So, for example, if a Cub Scout forgets to do a knife safety circle, the corrective action is to remind them to do so and perhaps review all the points of the knife safety pledge. If a Cub Scout purposely acts out while using a knife, you may decide to revoke the privilege of that Cub Scout to use a knife for the remainder of the activity. Whatever action is taken to maintain a safe environment, at no time can you revoke the adventure once it is earned. You can only revoke the privilege of using a knife. Make sure that you are comfortable with your skills of handling a knife. Environment. A key part of the equipment is to make sure that the knives used are in good condition. The knives must be sharp. The knives must be clean. The knives must be the right size. The Cub Scout should be able to comfortably grip the knife as designed. The physical environment is a large enough space that allows Cub Scouts to use the knife at a safe distance from each other. This is done by making a knife safety circle. Good lighting and minimizing distractions such as loud noises add another layer of safety. Now that we have conducted our safe checklist, we will demonstrate proper techniques. The first technique is the proper handling of knives. When passing a pocket knife, the knife is closed. The person passing the knife holds onto one end and extends the closed knife to the other person. The other person then takes hold of the other end of the knife. When the person has a hold of it, they are to say thank you. This lets the person passing the knife know that the other person has a hold of it and it is safe for you to let go. The technique for opening a pocket knife may be a little different based on the style of the pocket knife. First, firmly hold the knife in one hand and with the other, pinch the blade with your thumb and index finger and pull it out. Most pocket knives have a lock, so pull the blade all the way out until the locking mechanism engages. To close a pocket knife, disengage the lock. This varies based on the style of the knife. A common locking blade is disengaged by pushing down on a mechanism at the base of the handle. When you do this, keep your hand and fingers out of the path of the blade and handle. Some pocket knives do not have a lock. Next, fold the blade into the handle, keeping your hands and fingers out of the path of the blade and handle. If the blade has a lock, close the blade into the handle until the lock engages. Kitchen knives should not be passed from one person to another. Instead, the person closest to the knife picks it up and then lays it down near the other person for them to pick up. Since kitchen knives don't close, the blade is always exposed. This method reduces the risk of the knife being dropped or slipping, causing injury. It is commonly said that the most dangerous knife is a dull knife. A sharp blade requires less effort. A dull blade requires more effort and increases the risk of losing a proper grip. This is true for all types of knives. To sharpen a pocket knife, use a whetstone. Be sure to practice the skill before demonstrating. It is recommended that you use a large whetstone when teaching younger scouts how to sharpen a pocket knife like this one. Soak the whetstone in water for about 30 minutes before starting. Keep some water on hand to keep the stone wet while you are sharpening. Place the whetstone on a towel to help keep it in place and catch water that may run off when you wet it. Take the knife and slide it across the whetstone, moving away from you at about a 35-degree angle. Use light pressure, keeping your fingers behind the blade. Sharpen one side of the blade. About 10 passes should do it. Some knives may need more if they're dull. Wipe the blade, then flip the knife to sharpen the other side of the blade. Keep the blade moving away from you at about a 35-degree angle and your fingers out of the way. A sharp knife should be able to cut through a sheet of paper with no problem. If the blade sticks or pulls when slicing the paper, continue to sharpen the knife. Before using any knife, create a safety circle by reaching your arm out with your fingers extended and making a circle in all directions, essentially forming a sphere. This ensures that no one or nothing is in the way when you're using the knife. If anyone or anything does get into your knife safety circle, you are to stop cutting or using the knife immediately. When carving with a pocket knife, there are 3 basic cuts to be familiar with. There are more advanced cuts, but these advanced cuts are inappropriate for Cub Scouts. The first cut with a pocket knife is the rough cut. This is when you are taking large pieces of wood off by slicing through the wood. The rough cut is used to get the basic shape of the wood to what you are carving. The second cut is the push cut. This is similar to the rough cut, but in this cut, you use your thumb to push on the back of the blade to give more control to the cut. This is a slower cut than the rough cut. You can also control the blade to sweep back up to form curves. The third cut is called the stop cut. It is done by cutting into the wood and then using a push cut. The stop cut stops the push cut and can create an angle in the carving. When using a kitchen knife, there is the handshake grip and the pinch grip. Use the hand that you are most comfortable with. You can grip the knife on the handle, called the handshake grip, or you can use the pinch grip. The pinch grip is where you pinch the blade of the knife just above the bolster with your thumb and forefingers, then wrap the other fingers around the handle. When holding the object you are cutting, use the claw technique to keep the object stable and your fingers out of the way. To make a claw, shape your free hand into a claw by tucking your fingers back. Tightly grip the food with your claw hand, using all 5 fingers to hold it steady, with your thumb and pinky fingers stabilizing the sides. Make sure the fingertips are always further back from the knife edge than the knuckles. For the Weeblos and Aerovite knife safety adventures, there are 3 basic kitchen knife skills: the slice, the dice, and the mince. To slice, move the knife in a rocking tip-to-heel motion to cleanly slice food all the way through. Slide the fingers of your claw hand back and move the knife, not the food, after each cut. Experienced chefs use the knuckle of their middle finger as a width guide for slices. To dice is to cut food into uniform cubes and is a 3-step process. First, cut food into even slices. Stack 2 or 3 slices on the cutting board, then cut them lengthwise into thick sticks. Holding the sticks together with your claw hand, cut the sticks crosswise into cubes. When working with large quantities of food, make room on the cutting board by transferring the dice items to a bowl. Aromatic herbs, ginger, and garlic need to be minced into fine bits that will permeate a finished dish. Place the knife next to the item to be minced, and set your free hand flat on the top of the knife. Hold the tip down as you move the knife heel up and down in a chopping motion, rocking back and forth over the food until it is finely minced. Now that we have reviewed these techniques, make sure to practice them yourself before meeting with your Cub Scouts. Remember that the purpose of the knife safety adventures is just that: knife safety. With time, skills and ability will increase, but first we want to start with safety. Thank you for teaching these important life skills to your Cub Scouts, and thank you for your leadership and service to Scouting.